It's me, GB, and I'm here, like I said, with a Gladiator Beast deck profile. I'm sorry this took so long to bring you guys. Just a lot of things happened, and the first thing that happened was I checked in with them after about a week, I think, and they said that it should have been there, and they told me to contact them the next day, so I did, and it still wasn't there, and they gave me a refund, so I reordered it from someone else, and I got most of the cards. However, I am missing 2 copies of Mrs. Radiant, which I did add to the deck, and I replaced the Decode Talker and the 2 Link Spiders with Mrs. Radiant. So let's get right into this deck. 3 Noxious. It's an absolutely amazing Gladiator Beast. I believe that it is necessary in all versions of Gladiator Beast, because it's just such a good card. If your opponent wants to attack you directly, you know, he won't die once. He'll take an attack from your opponent. Then he'll dump a Glad from your deck and contact himself out if he survives. We have 3 Darius, because Darius can combo with Noxious very well, and he has high attack, so he can attack into your opponent's monsters, and you know, you probably won't take that much damage. But he is a very good card because of his revival effect. Next we have 2 Bestiaries. Not playing 3, of course, because that would be too bricky and he's not too good of a card. But I am playing 2 because he is the name card that you need to be able to summon Geyserus. Next we have 2 copies of Augustus, because if you're going to play this card, you have to play 2, mainly because there's only 2 ways to get him out of your hand. One way is discarding, and the other is to shuffle him back into your deck. Which is with 2 other spells that I'm playing. But Augustus is the best way to get himself out of your hand. You know, special Augustus to special summon the Augustus from your hand, and then if you want to, you can trigger that Augustus's effect, special summon another Glad. Alright, moving on. These are my 2 one of Gladiator Beast. We have Secutor and a Quest. Secutor can be your win condition. If you can pull his effect off, that's an instant +2. And that will most likely win you the duel because of how much, how much board presence you're getting off of just him. Problem with him is, though, he's not very good in your hand unless you special him off of the effect of a card like Augustus, and then you still have an attack that turn, because he doesn't have the ability to shuffle himself back into the deck. And his main ability, it comes from being special summoned by a Glad. I'm playing 1 a Quest because he's very good for recycling. If he's special summoned by a Glad, then you can add 1 Gladiator Beast card from your grave to your hand. That lets you recycle many cards, such as the monsters and the spells, along with, of course, Gladiator Beast War Chariot and the traps. Alright, next, I finally got my hands on a 3rd Test Tiger, so I am playing 3 because it is an absolutely amazing card. That comboed off with Prisma is an instant Geyserus, and that comboed with any Glad can also be amazing. So, moving on, we are playing 1 Prisma. I am considering making a variant where I run cards like A Hero Lives and other cards that to get him into your hand or onto the field as soon as possible. Because that'd be very good for turboing out cards like Geyserus. Alright, moving on. Sorry about all the uhs, I'll try and avoid them. We have 1 Maxi, of course, because Maxi is such an amazing card. If you're not playing it, there's probably something wrong with your deck. Well, I mean, depends on the deck, but mostly. Alright, 1 Ghost Ogre, 2 for removal. Moving on to the spells. We have 3 Gladiator Proving Ground. It lets you add 1 level 4 or lower Gladiator Beast from your deck to your hand. So it's basically a better version of Tenki. And I am playing 3. Not many people like it because Gladiator Beasts in your hand, as people say, aren't as good as Gladiator Beasts in your deck. But I would have to disagree with that. Certain cards, like, for example, I don't know, like just any Gladiator Beast in your hand. I'll use Bestiari, for example. If you can summon Augustus, special Bestiari from your hand, you know, you're getting a pop. And then you can go into Geyserus, and that's because you brought him out using Proving Ground, if that made any sense, which I hope it did. Next, these are also a new addition, my Gladiator Beast spells, Gladiator Beast Respite. Shuffle 2 Gladiator Beast cards from your hand into the deck, then draw 3 cards. So it doesn't give you any card advantage, but you also don't lose any card advantage. And it is a Gladiator Beast name card, so you can add it back to your hand with a quest anytime. Alright, next, we have 2 Gladiators Return. I'm playing 2 because this is much better late game, as it has an effect that reads, target 3 Gladiator Beast cards in your grave, shuffle all 3 targets into the deck, then draw 1 card. It is also not a Gladiator Beast card technically, so it cannot be added with a quest. I was considering playing 3 copies of Wabaku, but instead I realized that Wabaku was too slow, so I'm playing 2 copies of Pianissimo and 2 copies of Half Shut. So Half Shut is a quick play spell along with Pianissimo, and they both have their ups and downs. Half Shut, for example, its up is that it only halves the attack of one of the monsters, and Pianissimo, it makes it 100. Downside of Half Shut, it can only not be destroyed by battle. Pianissimo makes it so it can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. So they're both good in their own ways, and I'm playing 4. I don't want to play 6. I was definitely considering it, but there wasn't quite enough room, and I didn't want to go over the 40 card limit. Well, obviously not limit, but I didn't want to go over 40 cards. So next, I'm playing 3 Double Summon. It is such a good card that it can be used for so many great combos. And, you know, I've made a video on it. Well, not technically on it, but it was a video on Brilliant Fusion. You should go check that out if you haven't yet. Next, we have 3 Twin Twisters for spell and trap removal. Very good card. Gladiator Beasts in the Grave are also very good. So that works really well with it. And 1 Dark Hole for monster removal. And if I can get my hands on a Raigeki, I will replace Dark Hole in a heartbeat. So next I have 2 War Chariots. I was going to play 3, but then I wouldn't have been able to play Solemn Warning. War Chariot is a Gladiator Beast card, so it can be added back to your hand with a quest and looped. So it is absolutely amazing. Moving on to the extra deck, and I did mention before that I need 2 copies of Mrs. Radiant, so it's not quite finished. But I have 3 Gladiator Beast Geyserus. Geyserus, I want to play 3 personally because I tried using 2, but I ended up going through both of them and then needed a 3rd. So, that's why I'm playing 3. I'm playing 1 Tamer Editor. Editor's effect, you know, because of the Master Rule that came out, I think, a month or 2 ago, maybe 3, his effect isn't as good, but if you can pull off this really awesome combo with the Hand Trap Noxious, then Tamer Editor is very good. Okay, so next we're playing 2 copies of Heraklinos. Heraklinos is very good for protection, but he's not as good anymore because he requires you to play Laquari. I'm mainly playing Heraklinos to work with Tamer Editor. Next I'm playing 1 Neurokius. Neurokius is more of a just-in-case card. It is a generic Gladiator Beast fusion, so, well, I mean, generic to Gladiator Beast, because it doesn't require any name cards, just 3 Gladiator Beasts. They can be any level. And it's pretty okay, you know, he can shuffle out in special too, so it's pretty good. And finally, the last of the Glad Beast fusions, I'm playing 2 Esadari. I'm mainly playing 2 because I did have space, and 2500 attack, it's really good. It can be really good, because it's, just in case you end up with a really, really bad field and you can't go into any of the others, Esadari is always there for you. I think Esadari, he's always a worst case scenario card. You use him as a last resort. That's it. So I am playing 2 Xyz. I'm playing 1 Aegion. Aegion's effect reads, during either player's turn, you can banish 1 random face-down monster from your opponent's extra deck face up, and if you do, this card's attack becomes equal to the banished monsters. And then his second effect, which is his detach effect, during either player's turn, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card, then target one of your opponent's banished fusion, synchro, or Xyz monsters, return it to the extra deck, and if you do, destroy 1 monster your opponent controls with the same monster card type as that card. And when it says card type, it means fusion, synchro, or Xyz. Both of those effects are hard once per turns, but it's once per turn during either player's turn. So what I usually do is I just activate it as soon as I possibly can during their turn, because it can really mess them up if they have a if they're playing a deck that heavily relies on the extra deck. Aegon is a level 8, and Augustus are also level 8. There are also multiple Gladiator beasts here, such as Neurokius and Heraclinos, which are both level 8, and along with Tamer Editor. Tamer Editor is also level 8, so you can go into Aegon, like straight up with Tamer Editor's effect, if you really want to. I mean, I wouldn't recommend using a Tamer Editor's effect. I would personally use Augustus to go into Aegon, but you can do whatever you want. Finally, to top it off, I'm playing one Gaga Cowboy. He's also a major just-in-case card. Like, he's extremely situational. If you're, if you just attacked and your opponent's down to 800 or less, you can burn them for 800. And I have beaten people with Gaga Cowboy many times before. So, I personally, I love Cowboy. Without my copies of Mrs. Radiant, this is my deck, so I really hope you enjoyed my new deck profile. Please comment down below, tell me what you think about it, and I really hope to see you guys in my next video, so I'll see ya. Bye.